that active when defending.
I've been given like
there's always just that active when defending.
I've been given like
People deluded. People deluded. I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. No clue why my intro played twice or why Ian Wright's video didn't play properly, but the show must continue. People deluded. I'm back again. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. With it being Wednesday and the midway point of the week, hope you and your loved ones are first and foremost in good health. And obviously, you're having a progressive week in your personal and private lives. Hopefully, 2023 is great to you lot. Appreciative of all the support you give our platform, and I appreciate all of you lot tuned in today. Please make sure you're subscribed. If you haven't, smash the like button. Make sure you're commenting. These things boost the YouTube algorithm and get our platform out there. And selfishly, especially where comments are regarded, it allows me to see where you lot are at, people. Football is a funny old game. Fundamentally, it's a subjective game of opinions, and I love to hear yours, people. So anything we discuss throughout this video, please let me know. On that topic, as you know, it's the 11th of January. It's transfer window business where it's concerned. So let's see what the latest news regarding Arsenal is saying. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately until players are holding shirts and saying that they've watched Arsenal since they were little kids. Everything is was. But enough waffling. Let's share my screen and get into it. Now, this Mudryk saga, you know, again, there's been plenty of video. There's been plenty of talk from you lot and myself alike. We're at where we're at this point. I know many of you, including myself now, big up Mudryk and Arsenal's pursuit of him, but we're in that territory. We're firmly over that fence in that. We just want to see him holding the shirt. We just want to see him holding the shirt. We just want to see him taking the pictures and ultimately training with the first team. Currently, I think he's with Shakhtar as they, you know, are conducting training for their league and Europa League campaigns to recommence. So, yeah, he has a contractual obligation to keep training. It's within his interest to keep training, keep fit, keep ticking over. But the latest, you know, Ben Jacobs on Mudryk, and he, you know, he's paid probably a lot of his bills speaking about Mudryk over the last few months and weeks. He has said, told very positive talks took place between Arsenal and Shakhtar on Monday. As reported, sources close to Mudryk say he'll be very disappointed if a transfer doesn't happen in January. Chelsea have not placed any bid following their own meeting with Shakhtar. So maybe Chelsea deemed that, you know what, his head has been turned too much by Arsenal and there's not a willingness. Maybe Chelsea moved away in line with other targets, or that they feel Mudryk's not worth it. Or maybe they were presented a firm no. Potentially, in hindsight, Shakhtar have played the game in it. They invited the Shakhtar, were invited by the Chelsea executives, you know, for talks. And obviously, you all saw the images of them at Chelsea versus City. So obviously, it was a game of chess, and it seems to have worked really and truly. And I know Chelsea have confirmed the loan signing of João Felix today. Arsenal fans were going to have to run the banter, even though we got done dirty for Rafinha, but they tried to hijack Rafinha talks, tried to hijack Mudryk and Gabriel. He just couldn't even get Richarlison from the Spurs lots. Do you know how bad you have to be for someone to deem going Spurs ahead of you, man? The agendas have to agenda. João Felix is not safe. The minute you kick a ball for Chelsea, there's got to be a reason. They said you're the star boy and all of this, and Musiala, Bellingham, and all them guys are where, you know, they've lapped you really. The minute João Felix kicks a ball for Chelsea, agendas have to agenda. It's nothing personal. Them man are Crips, we're Bloods. Arsenal have still indicated directly and via intermediaries they don't want to pay 100 million euros, but the structure of the deal being discussed will be more important than the final number. Shakhtar wanted more money up front from the second bid, in brackets under 70 million euros. Told discuss offer will increase overall total, but with some less gettable add-ons. It means Arsenal can stick within their valuation, in brackets, and at the top end of guaranteed fee that they wish to pay for, and offer extras that are less likely or simply worth paying because tied to success. If triggered, that might be winning the Champions League, winning the league. You know, if Mudryk was to, I don't know, get 20 goals, 20 assists, these sort of dream sort of scenarios, really, in which it's true. If he did hit those variables, then fair enough. Is, you know, we've bought a player, and to go together with the other collective squad of players we reached success in it. We've all played Football Manager. It's not too dissimilar in that regard. This is a key point sometimes forgotten. A final transfer package isn't always paid. That's why the number and structure are both equally important when striking a deal. Careful, I tried to tell people this, in relation to Nicolas Pepe. The very fact that we committed to a deal that if all variables were hit for Nicolas Pepe via the old regime is a concern, but we did not pay 70 million euros, really and truly. I'm pretty sure he didn't achieve all of them bonuses, but it is what it is. Progress is being made, and with Chelsea not to date seriously entering the race, even before moving for Felix, Arsenal are in a stronger position. Contrary to some reports over the last 24 hours, as of Tuesday morning, yesterday, I'm told nothing in brackets verbal or format is yet agreed, but Arsenal remain optimistic as they have always been from the start. Should we see if there's any update? As you can see, João Felix has joined Chelsea on a season-long loan from Atletico. They've agreed to pay 9 million quid plus cover 100% of João Felix's wages, which is around 270 a week. I think someone did the maths, and that's about 6 million in wages. Again, that could be wrong. Everybody, I don't really know, so you'd have to take it up with them, but it doesn't feel like there's anything new here. Chelsea's interest in Mudryk was just explanatory. They didn't have any intention of bidding the asking price of 88 million. Yeah, right. Whatever floats your boat. Carrying on the theme with Mudryk, as I just kind of alluded to early in this vid, smash the like button, people. Check out the YouTube playlist, turn your notifications, and offer your opinions. As we know, Mudryk has travelled with Shakhtar Donetsk, as discussed, to their mid-season training camp as Arsenal seek a breakthrough in talks for the winger. We know we've had 2 bids rejected for Mudryk, with the second of those worth around 60 million, but remain in negotiations with Shakhtar. An agreement still at this point has not been found, but it is hoped a compromise can be found on Shakhtar's asking price of 85 million quid. As we know, Mudryk has, via social media and probably directly to Shakhtar, expressed a desire to join our Arsenal. However, with no agreement in place, he travelled to Shakhtar on Tuesday morning, and you've seen the images of him in training, people. So, again, it's the calm before the storm. As we know, Mudryk is our number 1 target, people. We haven't been able to get João Felix over the line, but hopefully we can get the young Ukrainian lad in, people. Once again, in relation to Mudryk, oh, this is about Mitoma, of Brighton. I know some of you would want that, but I'm not really here for that, really. As I just said, people, Mudryk has been spotted talking to Shakhtar Donetsk chief Dario Sane at the club's training camp in Turkey. Arsenal edging closer to agreeing a deal with the Ukrainian club for the talented winger, people. As you can see, I don't think this is groundbreaking news. It could be a conversation. They could be talking about breakfast. Maybe he's asking him the latest on the transfer news. I hope so, but that's nothing too scary for me or for Shakhtar, confident for me as an Arsenal fan. Shakhtar have made it clear Mudryk has made it clear he is keen on a move to Arsenal this month. However, the Gunners are yet to finalise a fee and have already seen 2 bids prove unsuccessful. As we know, publicly, Shakhtar are demanding a fee of around 88 million, in brackets 100 million euros, but Arsenal are confident of striking an agreement at a lower price. Once again, Mudryk rejoined his side for their pre-season training camp on Tuesday. On Wednesday morning, Shakhtar posted a series of videos from their squad from their training base in Antalya on the club's official Instagram story. The video showed the players arriving, as well as having some team bonding and going through some gym work, people. And again, one has to wonder if Mudryk does sign, how fit is he? Because I know there's been a World Cup, but there's been a break in football for Shakhtar. Like, we've kind of got cracking. We've been playing games. They haven't really. So what's his physical condition? Which is why I said it's in his best interest to keep training and things and stay fit, really and truly, because you sign for Arsenal, it's your dream move and you're happy to be in the Premier League. But that's where the work starts. And, we're trying to get 3 points. We're trying to get Champions League and aspire to above that. Right now, you're probably not going to walk into the starting lineup, but you have the potential to do such, people. So, yeah, it's unclear as to what the pair were discussing, but Arsenal's interest could have been one of the topics, people. As you know, Sane is heavily involved in discussions over Mudryk's future. He was at Stamford Bridge last week to hold talks with Chelsea over a potential deal. Chelsea now appear out of the running, with Arsenal leading a one-horse race, which strengthens our negotiating hand with Shakhtar. They could keep him. He's 21. He's contracted until 2026. They could have sold him to Brentford or Everton or wherever in the summer. That move has been, not to move has been justified because his price has ballooned, and it could, depending on the progress of him in the domestic campaign and what he does in the Europa League, it could obviously get more expensive for other clubs, and that's a benefit for Shakhtar. Ben Jacobs has claimed on Tuesday that once again Arsenal held positive talks with Shakhtar this week, people, and we're set to increase our latest offer of 62 million, people. Once again, Shakhtar are demanding more money to be paid up front, and nothing has been agreed between the two clubs yet, people. So we'll have to see how that one develops. Once again, you can see all the images, people, which the latest Arsenal fans are going over. I mean, you know, apparently the FA have opened, we've been fined, but the FA have opened spot fixing probe into suspicious betting patterns surrounding the booking of Oxford defender Kieran Brown in Arsenal's Monday's FA Cup game, people. So, I mean, we knew it was dodgy, you know. I told you can't trust man with a man bun in defense, apart from Van Dijk. I knew he was dodgy. You lot check out the watch along I did. I told you this guy's moving fugazi, but I never hate on someone trying to make $1, man. But you told too many people. The WhatsApp group told too many external circumstances, too many people, and now you find yourselves in these circumstances. Again, Google Translate not helping us out at all, people. But we've once again been linked with Eden Hazard. Some people say we're looking to bring him in the summer. Some in January. Some say he's an alternative to João Felix / Mudryk. Now, Eden Hazard is a mercurial talent, Premier League proven, has a wealth of experience, and on his day is a quality player. Unfortunately, excluding his talent, and you know, I hope it works out for him, but it's too much of a risk. He's going to probably be, whether it's a loan or whatever, it's going to be a serious hit in the pockets. If he was to sign permanently, he would probably be our top earner. Obviously, you can't guarantee if the man's going to stay fit as well. You have to wonder, because of his physical condition in the couple of years he's been at Real Madrid, how much has Eden Hazard fallen off? And obviously, he is on the, you know, I don't see 32 and start panicking, but he's on the wrong side of 30. So it's probably a risk that doesn't make sense. But if it was just based on talent, of course, but it doesn't really make sense. Obviously, he's contracted until, I believe, 2024. And there's rumors Real Madrid will let him go. They want to get him off the wage bill. Now, we obviously have a decent relationship with Real Madrid. We've obviously getting Ceballos for a couple of years, and obviously Martin Odegaard, and you know, things like that. But unless it's a loan where, you know, we don't pay all of the wages, it doesn't really make sense for Eden Hazard. I hope it works out. But yeah, keeping up the theme with Spain, we're always linked with Eric Garcia. Obviously, he's been at City where Mikel Arteta was. He's not exactly playing at this moment for Barcelona. Apparently, he does not contemplate a departure to Arsenal and to join Mikel Arteta's side, but apparently he's been linked with us, people. Although in Arsenal, they insist on his transfer to the Premier League, Eric Garcia is not contemplating his signing of Arsenal today, as pointed out by the English press. With a contract with Barca until 2026, the centre-back only has in his mind playing for Barcelona, and leaving is not being considered today, despite the fact that he's not having the expected journey in the first team, neither transferred nor assigned, people. So we'll have to see, man. He's a bit part player at this moment in time, so is what it is, and he finds himself behind Marcus Alonso, Conde, Arojo, and Christensen in the pecking order, people. So I'm not too sure you lot believe any of that, but if you do, there you have it. Apparently, Arsenal are monitoring the developments of Leandro Trossard's situation. He's also been linked with Liverpool. In fact, they turned it down, and it appears that Spurs seem to be the front runners. Completely off topic, you know, El Nene was linked with Aston Villa, and you're pretty sure you're seeing Guendouzi's name trending on Twitter because he's being linked with an Aston Villa move and joining his former boss Uno Emery, people. So we have to see how that one develops. Arsenal are allegedly demanding 35 million for Folarin and Balogun, people. And to be fair, you know, if you bring in another striker, if Eddie and Nketiah and Jesus go from strength to strength, if you train Martinelli to play up there, and obviously where the Sakas, the Mudryks, these guys go and score, I'm not against selling Balogun. Now, obviously, he's 21. He's still very early for a striker. I wouldn't, you know, I think you could move in every direction. I think there's a case to, you know, we're probably in the next 12 months going to have to give him a new deal, an improved deal to go with his progress in France. You know, I could understand giving him a new deal, loaning him out again. I could understand Mikel Arteta having him in pre-season for next season, seeing where he's developed, seeing where he is and if he could be utilized. Obviously, we don't really, at this moment in time, we don't really have that strong of attacking options in terms of depth when everybody's fit, of course. But we, as I always say and have said in these videos, we probably look a bit better in seeing out games with Rob Holding and being able to play back three with El Nene, with Tomiyasu and Tierney, who have been on the bench, versus chasing games. I mean, Balogun should be more confident. We've got the young project. You signed a new deal. You're seeing a fellow striker in Haylender / Cobham in Eddie and Nketiah thrive. Why shouldn't you? But at the end of the day, minutes are currency. And when you're Balogun and you've been exposed to consistent football, I'm not saying, you know, obviously Arsenal is very different to Reims, but it's like a drug, really. You're like a nitty, innit? And it's difficult to go back to just being on the bench, playing the occasional cup game. And that's something, you know, you're not near Eddie and Nketiah at this moment in time, or he's probably ahead of you in terms of general play, in my opinion, but you're getting closer. Jesus is obviously the big dog. There are indirect rumors in the summer we'll look to bring in another striker, maybe of a different profile to Jesus and Nketiah. But I could also understand keeping him, loaning him back out, giving him an opportunity next season, also selling him, because 35 million for a player that probably has only played at best 10 games, not 90 minutes, coming through your academy, being sold for 40 million, 35.3 as it says here with a sell-on clause. Why not? It's testament to Balogun that he's being linked with Inter and AC and all of these clubs. And Arsenal, we need to get better at selling players. Not everybody's going to make it, really. There might have been an opportunity, for example, in previous years to sell Reece Nelson, where his stock was kind of hot, rightly or wrongly. Ainsley Maitland-Niles to Everton, Wolves for 20 million. You know, some players are going to come through our first team, be there for a couple of years like Joe Willock and be sold on and go and do good things. Some people are going to develop and not quite be good enough. Others are going to do what Saka and Smith Rowe have done, really. And that's testament to the academy. Once again, AC Milan have been linked with him, people. He has 2.5 years linked left on his deal. So as I said, within the next year, 18 months, 6 to 18 months, really have to start discussing a new deal for Balogun. Again, apparently AC Milan are believed to have an interest in him. He's also been linked with Inter, and that probably means a whole bunch of other clubs, people. Once again, it says Inter here. I mean, all Balogun's got to keep doing is develop people, and you're doing great on loan in France, you know, building on the testing period at Middlesbrough, and keep doing what you're doing. It's as simple as that, people. I don't know the credibility, but a lot of Arsenal people are talking, or social media and whatever are speaking about Gündoğan now. For what it's worth, 31 years of age. Bring him in it, make it happen. He's got a wealth of knowledge that he'll be able to teach, you know, a wealth of experience. You know, buying City players has worked out all right. You know, Gündoğan's 31 years of age, depending on the deal. He's not necessarily going to block the pathway of anyone, and that could give us some time to assess the development of Lokonga, see where Charlie Patino's at, and obviously bring in another midfielder because, you know, Telemans, if you read some reports today, we've fully gone cold. We've left that Danilo of Palmeiras alone. Douglas Luiz didn't materialize to anything. We've been linked with Milinkovic, Savic, and Benacia. You know, not too sure on the credibility of that, people. You know, again, Gündoğan would have experience, obviously a great player, doesn't really kill any pathways, you know, experience that could help us kind of, you know, build solid foundations. It would make so much sense. But respectfully to my club, as much as, you know, there's what Arteta is doing, what Arsenal are historically, what we're aspiring to do, there's also in terms of lifestyle, the London aspect. For Gündoğan at 31 years of age, winning all you can at Manchester City, I don't think it really makes sense to sign for us, people, because again, our players are about 10 years younger than Gündoğan, you know, 21 years of age. They've got their best days in front of them. If, you know, by God's grace, if we get Champions League football as a minimum and do better this season, that's great. But we're in the development stage sort of thing. So if we live, for example, if we take 1 to 3 years to develop and become a proper title contender team where the expectations are there from August, that could be great for, you know, the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, all the mid to young 20-year-olds throughout the team. That isn't necessarily going to help Gündoğan because in 2 years you're 33. And for him, you know, again, it all probably depends on the sporting prospect. You know, your football career is short. If he wants to try a new league, I don't know, go to Spain, return to Germany, who knows? But for him, he's also got to seek a very important contract. You know, he's in a good position, 31 years of age, deal running down, which you can't rule out staying at Man City. You know, he needs to get the best finances, where for Arsenal, depending on the length of contract, you could be in issues. It's completely different. But look at Cedric. We're trying to palm him off to Villarreal, buying Leverkusen or Fulham. We're hearing his weekly wages are an issue, and he's contracted until 2024. So we're going to have to deal with that, people, depending on what's being said. Once again, Declan Rice has been linked with Arsenal. Apparently, he may be viewed as a #1 priority this summer, people. Apparently, inside West Ham United employers revealed Arsenal may now view Declan Rice as a #1 target in the summer transfer market and recent links. Specifically, what has the man said? Declan Rice to Arsenal was talked about heavily over the week. There's truth. Arsenal, one of the clubs interested in him. That kind of came from nowhere, really. Chelsea, Man United, City, and Liverpool have always been lurking. But Arsenal, mainly because I don't think people thought they had the finances to compete, are now looking at making him a #1 priority, as are Chelsea, I believe. And I mean, he was an ex-Chelsea lad. Chelsea are the team primarily linked with him. I think United, City, Liverpool, and Arsenal could offer stuff, but I considered Chelsea the front runners, just because, you know, he wants to go to Chelsea. He's a Cobham boy and all of that jazz, play with his brethren Mason Mount and that. But anyways, it would be lovely for what it's worth. But it's early days. He's not going to go in January, categorically not going to go in January unless we get an obscene offer for him, which can't see forthcoming, people. He's been valued at 7 million, people. 70 million. Definitely if it was 7, he'd get bought in January. He's been valued at 70 million. To be fair, you know, they probably won't get that with him contracted until 2024. So there will be a bit of a reduction in price next summer, you know, just like Milinkovic Savic at Lazio, if that was to happen, people. Not sure on this report. Juventus fear Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool's offers for Rabiot. Once again, a bunch of English clubs, but us have also been linked with Rabiot, as Juventus are ready to open contract talks. His contract is running down and he's having a decent season, people. Apparently, Juventus will offer the same salary, which is around 7 million per year plus add-ons, and are open to paying a bonus as soon as Rabiot puts pen to paper. Now, obviously, the Premier League, Juventus have financial issues off the field and problems off the field. Obviously, all these Premier League teams, also Spurs have been linked, could probably offer him more competitive wages. And for him at 27, 28, it could be worth it to go with the carrot of playing in the Premier League. The midfielder wants at least 10 million euros per season, which there's a 3 million difference between Juventus and what he's seeking. So yeah, people, Premier League sides as Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and even Man City, where he spent time as a kid, would be open to matching his demands. Although Rabiot will listen to Juventus's offer, it appears unlikely that he'll turn down bigger offers from the Premier League. So draw of that what you will, people. If I to kind of close out this video, if we see what goal.com is saying about us and players, people. We've been linked with Tossart as well as Rabiot. We've received a boost where Milinkovic-Savic is concerned. Arsenal have been looking to bolster their midfield all year to help in their bid for the title. As per reports earlier, one of the top targets is Lazio's midfielder Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. They report that Lazio are ready to sell the Serbian powerhouse as they feel his mind is no longer in Rome. However, the report states they will not accept any offers less than 100 million despite his contract expiring next year. They could run his deal down, but who knows? Once again, we're keeping tabs on Eric Garcia. Allegedly, we've made contact with Eden Hazard. Arsenal have inquired to Real Madrid regarding a move for outcast winger Eden Hazard. Probably a myth. We've been linked with Balde of Barcelona. Apparently, Mudryk's deal to Arsenal almost closed with just bonus negotiations pending. We kind of heard that yesterday. Check out the other vids. Vlahovic prefers a move to England, but that case where Arsenal's concerned is probably closed. And apparently, we're the front runners for Ivan Ndika, people. El Nene, as discussed kind of earlier, like his former teammate Guendouzi, has been linked with Aston Villa and joining Unai Emery. And we've also been linked with keeping tabs, or better yet, monitoring Tammy Abraham, people. So, again, the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. I don't know if any of you buy into any of that, but what I would say is, people, appreciative of you lot tuned in. Please let me know your opinions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, stay blessed, stay safe. Check out the other content, and I'll see you all soon. God bless you all, man.
There's always just that active red flag, defending.
I think it's like